Colorado funeral home owner now knows how long he'll spend behind bars for abusing nearly 200 bodies.
John Halford was the co-owner of the Return to Nature funeral home in Penrose. He pleaded guilty to abusing the bodies after investigators found remains improperly stored at his facility in 2023. 9 News reporter Ria Jha was in the courtroom and joins us live now with the latest.
Yeah, a judge sentenced John Halford to 40 years in federal prison today. The courtroom was filled with victims' families, many of whom cried and shook their heads as the judge handed down this sentence, which was just short of the maximum of 50 years. Families gave emotional impact statements. Some traveled from out of state to be there in person. Many described lasting trauma and called Halford's actions unforgivable, asking for the maximum sentence. We also heard directly from Halford today, appearing in custody, already serving time on a federal sentence. He addressed the court apologizing repeatedly, saying he felt remorse and told the judge he regretted his actions. This case began in October 2023 when investigators discovered nearly 200 bodies improperly stored at the Return to Nature funeral home in Penrose. Families who have paid for cremations later learned their loved ones had not been handled as promised. Halford had already been sentenced to 20 years in federal prison for fraud connected to that same scheme. Today, that 40-year sentence will run concurrent to that federal time. His wife and co-owner, Carrie Halford, is scheduled to be sentenced in federal court and also state court here in April. Reporting live in Colorado Springs, Ria Jha, 9 News.
And I can only imagine, Ria, that this is going to be a precedent for Carrie's trial coming up. And also, I just feel for all those victims. I can't imagine.
Yeah. And the courtroom was packed with all those victims that have been dealing with this for more than 2 years now. So now it's come to an end, at least for John Halford.
Yeah. All right. Well, Ria, thank you.
The spring-like temperatures continue in Colorado today, but it's not all good news. Jefferson County says there is a high fire danger this weekend for West Metro Fire District, thanks to the warm and dry weather that we've been experiencing. So let's check in with our senior meteorologist, Chris Bianchi, with a look at your forecast. Chris, we've all been saying this pretty much all week. The temperatures are very, very warm for February. You love to see it, but also you know it comes with that sometimes.
Yes, and that fire danger is certainly in place. However, I do want to note that that fire danger is not as high as what we were dealing with in December. And of course, the lacking ingredient for really high fire danger, we don't have a ton of wind. It will turn breezy in the foothills tonight and tomorrow, but not nearly to the degrees that we're dealing with. You might remember in December we had those several wind events in a row where it was really nasty with very high and concerning fire danger. That is not the case this weekend. Still, though, please be smart with anything with the spark outdoors. Look at this beautiful sunset there from Copper Mountain. The lifts come to a close there, but looking gorgeous out there in Copper on this Friday evening. Denver looking beautiful as well. Just a few high clouds on this Friday evening with temperatures dropping to low 60s. We topped that around 66 officially out at the airport, 67 here in the 9 News backyard, 64 right now in downtown Denver, 60s for the most part on the eastern plains. Radar's quiet right now, active off to the east and a little active off to our west. But as we look ahead, we've got some cooler temperatures tonight, but then next week it really cools down with some widespread mountain snow. I'll tell you about that in a few minutes, and bless you, Alex.
So polite. Well, 6 years after the pandemic began, the federal government is still trying to track down all the COVID fraud. Thousands of people have been prosecuted across the country.
A couple from Castle Rock, accused of stealing nearly $5 million, has made a deal with prosecutors. 9 News investigative reporter Jeremy Hohola looks at just how much money was lost and what's been recovered thus far.
6 years after the world changed, the federal government continues to prosecute people accused of stealing COVID relief money. So far, more than 3,500 people have been criminally charged across the country, including Josh Leibold of Castle Rock, a self-described life hacker and serial entrepreneur. Leibold and his wife were indicted in 2024 for stealing and spending COVID relief dollars on a $900,000 condo in Snowmass, $50,000 on a Land Rover, and $25,000 for a country club membership at Castle Pines. In total, the couple was accused of stealing nearly $5 million COVID relief dollars. We've learned Josh Leibold has recently made a deal with prosecutors and will plead guilty to one or more of the 13 charges he currently faces for wire fraud and money laundering. Prosecutors dismissed his wife's case of one charge of wire fraud late last month.
There was such a push for urgency to get money out the door and to people so quickly that they completely threw out any kind of guardrails.
That is Sean Moulton with the
checks and
nonpartisan
balances.
group Project on Government Oversight, which has been watching how the government has been handling all the fraud. In its most recent report from 2025, the Government Accountability Office estimates hundreds of billions of dollars were likely lost to fraud, and the full extent will never be known with certainty.
Much of this money will not be able to be clawed back, and may not even get prosecuted. These cases, so many potential cases to investigate and possibly to prosecute, that at their current staffing level, they will not cover them.
Josh Leibolt will stand before a judge for his sentencing on March 3rd. Records show the government, though, has made efforts to seize much of the properties he spent money on, including that $900,000 condo in Snowmass. Last year, the Department of Justice reported it has recovered about $1 billion in COVID fraud in monies and properties. But again, this is a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of the hundreds of billions of dollars estimated stolen. So back to you, Alex.
Yeah, it's sickening to know people didn't do the right thing when it was offered.
Lots of money taken.
That's true. All right, Jeremy, thank you.